Yeah, 161, great to make the hook up there, Matt. Yeah, Matt, J. Juliet Alpha Yankee was my name for your further information.
Hi guys, this is CBRadioMagazine.com with the President Lincoln 2, and I'm ready to show you guys the menu function. So let's jump into it. Menu button is here. When you hold this in, it takes you into the menu functions. First function you'll see here is the color. Orange, blue, green. The contrast is not showing up as much on my camera as I'd like, so it's a little bit darker in person than it might appear in the video, but you can change your color. Next up, brightness. You can change the brightness as well, so you can make it much dimmer and go back to bright. You can't turn it all the way off, but you can make it pretty dim. This option gives you the ability to change how these channel up-down buttons work. They control frequency or channel. In the expanded mode, it doesn't really seem to do anything, so I haven't really figured that one out, but it doesn't make a whole lot of difference. This is your dual watch frequency. Now what you can do is the dual watch button's over here on the left-hand side. You can set this up so that when you press this, it'll scan whatever frequency you want. You set the channel and the band by pressing the band button, and the mode. So you have to know what the channel is and the frequency. It doesn't show the frequency here, which is a little weird for setting that up. But let's say you have one of your favorite channels, you always are going to scan that one. You'd set that one up in there. Next up, this is to reset the radio completely, set everything back to the original factory settings. This is your beep frequency for the Roger beep. You can adjust the tone on the Roger beep. This is much like the CRE, you can do that. This is the time. You can make it a really short Roger beep, or you can make it a really long Roger beep. I'd suggest going more towards the short side if you don't want to annoy people. Okay, after the Roger beep, CW frequency. Sorry, oops. I had to reference my notes here. You can set your CW frequency tones for when you're doing your code. And if you don't do anything on the menu, it times out, as you can see. Call frequency, you can set the call tone here, and that's for tone burst. Next up is the monitor gain volume. This is your talkback level. So you can set this all the way up to 32. If you do it at 32, you're probably going to get some feedback, so yeah. Timeout timer, this is to set the amount of seconds. So if you're talking too long, if you have this on and you talk too long, it will stop your key up. So this is like if you leave your microphone in your truck and it gets stuck between the seats and your radio's keyed up for an hour while you're inside having a beer and it'll burn up your finals. That's when the timeout timer can come in handy. Automatic SWR protection, on, off. You can turn that on or off. You can set the SWR level when you want it to automatically shut down the radio from transmit. That protects your radio in case your SWR is high. We also have a battery protection function on or off, sorry. And you can set that the high level DC, so too much voltage. You can set it so, hey, if it gets this much voltage, turn off. Or you can set it for this much voltage, low, turn off. You can see the low here. Scan function, you can have it scan through the frequencies, and when it finds one, it stops, or you can have it scan through. When it finds one, it stops and then automatically goes again after 5 seconds, even if the person is breaking the squelch. And now we're back to the color. So that's the menu functions, basically all of them there. The last thing I'm going to show you is if we go into mode here and we go to FM, now you can access your CTC, SS, and DCS tones, and this is only going to work in FM, obviously, because that's 10 meter FM repeaters. If you turn it off, you can see it goes off. You can turn it on to whichever code that you want. Now they set up codes here. Each one of these numbers actually applies to a certain frequency. They've got a key in the back, so we've gone from CTC, SS to DCS here. And as you can see, it takes you through all these different numbers. There's quite a few of them. And the tones give the ability to go through and select these. And again, they have a key in the back of the manual that describes all the tones. And so these are your subaudible tones to key a repeater. So if you are going to be using that feature, there's very few 10 meter repeaters around these days, but there are a couple, and sometimes you can hit them when conditions are right, or maybe you live near them, which would be a cool thing. We don't have any in my area, but yeah, so that's for that. Really, that's all there is, guys. I think I've shown you everything on there. Menu functions, repeater offsets, all the other functions I covered in the other video. Check that one out if you didn't get to see those. And President Lincoln 2, very cool radio. Lots of new technology in it. So far, the build quality has been really good, impressive. The radio seems to function very well. And overall, yeah, I'm impressed. It's a very neat radio. It's I don't know if it's going to be the icon that the original Lincoln was, but only time will tell in the popularity with the public and everything. But it definitely has all of the features and more from the original. So quite a lot packed into a small radio. And again, audio quality and stuff's been very good. So President Lincoln 2.